I honestly think that there is potential for like making a good Muppets movie, since I don't know, like back before
They've
Jim
still got
Henson's death.
they've still got Frank Oz working on Muppets, on the puppets. He's like,
I don't know if Frank Oz isn't working on the Muppets. I don't think. Well, he is as a
producer.
He is as a consultant and a producer, but I don't know. There are ways. I mean, I know Frank Oz has directed a lot of movies before, so there is a chance that we might.
Yeah, he directed.
He
was it what I can't remember.
He did. He did Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And he also did like a British movie called Death at a Funeral. So
that was really good. Yeah.
I really think I really think that maybe and plus Frank Oz has a really good relationship with Disney because he actually voiced Yoda in like Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
so I mean there is potential. I don't want to see them like kind of waste it.
Yeah, so this movie is filled to the brim with like I said, archetype. I wouldn't say stereotypes. It's the archetypes. Like you got Orson Welles playing the big fat cigar smoking CEO producer.
Yeah,
you got the what else do you have? We have the
you have a lot of there. I mean, a lot of them are character actors, so they probably played with type. You have Milton Berle as the car salesman.
Yeah, you had
which a lot of great gags with Sweetums, and I'm happy that they have. I think it was
Richard
Sweetums.
Pryor. Yeah, Richard Pryor
as a balloon salesman, and
he's giving dating advice. This is the guy who got divorced 6 times and remarried his 6th wife.
Yeah, and. Well,
I thought that was funny because this movie takes place when he was still married to his first wife, I think 79, and then now fast forward to 2019, he died back in 2005. But from 1979 to 2005, he got married and divorced 6 times.
Well,
I think it's funny to see him. That's a joke that like gets like. That's something that gets funny over time. The fact the more you think about it, like he got divorced 6 times.
Yeah,
and he's giving dating advice.
So there's a lot to unpack now that a lot of time has passed, especially. But yeah, and I think that's the point. The Muppets are, the Muppets can be for everyone's childhood, but like ultimately, it's this movie that kind of seals the deal on like how much, how much you can get away with, but also still have that much heart to it.
What I think Mr. Rogers said it best is that. I'm not sure if he said this or if it was someone else who said this in a review of Mr. Rogers' movies, but they said Mr. Rogers is the one who says, I'm not sure if he said this, but his message is growing up doesn't mean your childhood has to die. And I think there's a lot of that in here.
I mean, I could see Mr. Rogers saying that.
I'm not sure if he said that or someone else said that that was a message in my opinion that he was trying to give off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Mr. Rogers would have been a good cameo for this movie though. Who could he have played?
I don't know, but I think it was. I think he was. Yeah, I think he was still working on his TV show, and since they were kind of filming, they were filming in California. I'm not sure if he was willing to, trek that much, especially when with a busy show like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah. So this is going on. This movie was made, like I said, 79.
1979, and
this is the. I just checked the cast list. Steve Whitmire, the current voice, the former voice of Kermit the Frog, he started working with Jim Henson back in 1978, and I was surprised.
I think this was his first appearance as a Muppet performer.
I just checked Wikipedia. He wasn't in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, Steve Whitmire was not in this movie, so I'm surprised.
I thought he was.
He wasn't. I'm surprised.
Well, I don't think he was credited for.
Maybe he was, but he wasn't credited because I just checked Wikipedia and checked all the cast lists and he wasn't in it. So
I don't know, because I remember that because I remember that like they said that he was in it. I wasn't sure where, but I don't know. I might be wrong too, because there are so many Muppets and a lot of people performing them. Like Jim Henson plays like four Muppets. Frank Oz plays plays 4 of.
He played Miss Piggy, and I forgot who else he played.
He also did Animal.
Oh yeah.
And a couple of others, and you know, and like that at that very end, you know, with all the Muppets on below the rainbow, there had to be like 1,000 puppeteers just working on it. So,
I mean, if nothing else, you could appreciate this movie for the amount of effort that went into doing everything practical. There was no special effects here at all.
I mean,
there might have been the one. I mean, back in '79, I'm not sure how good computer effects were. I mean, the average calculator now has more processing power than a 1979 computer. So
yes, well, speaking of computers, speaking of processing power, it's really cool to see where, Jim Henson was like at. I wouldn't say it is peak.
His peak was, in my opinion, was the '80s. That was Labyrinth.
Yeah, definitely.
Dark Crystal.
But it's cool to see. But it was cool to see like how him getting his kind of like first taste into like filmmaking.
Yeah, and the movie did really well at the box office too. It had a budget of only $9 million. Well, back in 1979, $9 million then was like probably like $20 million now, and it grossed over $80 million, or I think 78 million. So it grossed a lot of money, and it was a very good success.
Yeah, and it also kind of led Jim Henson into more riskier territories. He went into he's always had like this kind of cool vision, which kind of went for bigger and better. So after Muppet Show came Fraggle Rock, and it was a lot. Well, it was kind.
I've seen a few episodes. Yeah, I know what it's.
It was kind. It was it was a different kind of beast, and just kind of Dark Crystal and Labyrinth, it was much more than just a TV show, and I think that's what Jim Henson was trying to do.
Yeah, so let's face it, we're never gonna know exactly what Jim Henson would have done, but this movie. I'm happy for what he achieved. Yeah. What I like, I think we discussed pretty much everything. Was there anything else we're missing? I
don't think that. I don't. If there's anything, I don't think that the Muppets should just stay kind of like a minor Disney property, because Disney is treating the Muppets I don't want to say it's bad, but I think their approach to it is they're approaching everything at this point, kind of business wise. They're kind of they are kind of just briefly looking at this and briefly looking at that, but unless it's Marvel, because it's
rats and snakes. When Kermit the Frog was doing the interview with Ellen DeGeneres back in 2011, 2012, he was the swamp got me prepared for Hollywood. All those rats and snakes. That was a fun one.
Wait, he didn't say crocodiles?
No, he said rats and snakes, because
there was a
alligators. Yeah.
There was
rats and snakes, because he's making fun of saying that Hollywood producers are all metaphorical rats and metaphorical.
Oh, I get it.
That was a funny interview when they had Steve Whitmire with Ellen DeGeneres. This was back in 2011. So,
and I think that kind of.
So the fact that they were able to do that, say that back in 2011, and.
It says a lot.
It definitely shows that they still that self-aware humor that they had back in the old days.
It says a lot about the attitude of how it's not that ideal, but hey, one can dream, right? We all kind of have that. It's just that it kind of changes when you grow up.
Yeah, sorry, this feels like an unscripted rant, but that's pretty much all it is. But this movie's been on for 40 years. If you haven't seen it already, you can probably find it on YouTube for $3. We just happened to be lucky enough to see it in theaters for the 40th anniversary. It came out back in June of 1979.
Yeah, and given that Jim Henson has done a lot, you just want to watch it, and it's very you can't help but enjoy. It's one of those movies that you can't really hate.
Well, it's not a masterpiece or anything, but at the end of the day, it's a fun road trip movie with a lot of
Yeah, exactly.
With a lot of like cool humor and social comment. Yeah, they got some social commentary. You got like they're making fun of used car salesmen. They're making fun of how people will do anything to get famous, and some people are willing to like go to
very extreme lengths.
Extreme lengths, yeah. So like, that social commentary is pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's got social commentary for the adults. It's got cute fuzzy puppets for kids. It's got something for everybody. And this movie back in the 1970s got a G rating. There are some things that definitely would not go over now with a G rating back in 40 years later, like the electric yarmulke with the whole Nazi guy and the.
I don't know. I think at this point, it's just a testament to what Jim Henson was willing to get away with.
Well, it's what everyone was willing to get away with back in the 1970s.
Oh yeah, totally. But
I mean, like,
but Henson was under the stereotype that the Muppets and Sesame Street were everything were like it was like it was just like children's entertainment.
And now you have pieces of shit like that movie with just Melissa McCarthy. What was it called again?
The Happy Time Murders.
Yeah, that was abysmal. I hated that one. It was abysmal. Did you ever see it?
No.
It was terrible.
You watched it?
Yeah, it was terrible. I thought it'd be... Jim Henson would be rolling over in his grave if he saw that piece of garbage.
I think...
There's no... The humor is not even on the nose. It's up the nose. It's up the nose with crack cocaine. Okay, that's what it is.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Okay, we're going off topic.
That's about it. I think we'll end it there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the Muppet Movie. Just, I know we weren't saying too much, but just go see it.
What are some of your favorite Muppets or Muppet movies or Muppet moments? I'm asking the audience. So.
All right.
Just think of what some of your favorite Muppet movies or moments are.
Yeah, absolutely. And see ya.